Yeah, so addition reaction is when you have a double bond and you break that, and both the carbons involved, they get one extra thing. Okay, and we say that this is how they become saturated, and this is addition reaction. When you add something to itself, what happens? So first of all, the double bond breaks. So draw the same thing without the double bond. Okay, and now what's going to happen is that this left carbon is going to get something, and this right carbon is going to get something. And obviously, what's there to get? The same molecule again. So the same molecule joins this side and also this side. And that happens in this direction as well in this direction. So what we just to show that it's happening in both directions, we draw these lines through the brackets to show that it is continuing. And you will notice that it's basically a repetition of this thing. This is going on and on and on, and this is called a repeating unit or just repeat unit. Okay, so what we have done is we have added the same thing to itself by breaking the double bond and joining it to either side. And obviously the new molecule that is come on the one side, वो आगे उसके जैसे ही एक और के साथ join हो जाएगा. Okay, this process is called addition polymerization. Why is it addition? It's addition because you're adding, it's the addition reaction obviously. And polymerization because you are, poly means many, mer means structure. You're adding many structures together. So this thing, this compound, which was the starting point, we call it monomer. And this whole thing we call a polymer. And just to name it, what this monomer was propene. So now this thing, it will simply be polypropene because it is made by joining many propene molecules together through an addition reaction. We can do addition polymerization of several things. Anything that has a double bond in it. Yes?
Sir, ये मुझे दोबारा से explain कर दें.
I'll give you examples तो उनसे समझ आ जाएगा. Addition reaction समझ आ गया कि क्या होता है? You break a double bond and you add one thing on either carbon. How this one is a little different is that you're adding not something extra but the same molecule to itself. उसके जैसा ही एक और उसमें add हो जाता है और दोनों sides पे. So let me take another example. Let's start with very simple ethene. So this is ethene. And what we are doing is we are adding it to itself. Okay. So the double bond breaks, obviously. That's addition reaction, the double bond breaks. And on one side, the same thing is attached. And on the other side, the same thing is attached as well. So ये पूरा वहाँ पे join हो जाता है. And we show this continuing like this. We can also put an end there to show कि ये चलता जा रहा है. And what is the repeating unit here? This thing, this is the repeating unit because it is repeating. It's a series of these things multiple times. That compound which made it, it's ethene. The monomer is ethene. What's the polymer? Polyethene. अच्छा, if you know what the polymer is, तो उससे आप monomer कैसे बनाओगे? Take the repeat unit. So, for example, in this case, हमारा repeat unit है ये, and put a double bond in the middle, and that is your monomer. अगर मैं इस molecule को देखूं, I will take the repeat unit. This is the repeat unit, and I'll put the double bond in the center, and now I have the monomer. So if you get the polymer, you can easily make a monomer from it. And if you know the monomer, you can simply break the double bond and join it on either side, and that will make the polymer. This is called polyethene, and this is used to make shopping bags. Okay?
Sir, ये जो main unit है वो side वाले क्यों नहीं हो सकते?
हो सकते हैं, because they're all repeating. तो इनमें और ये middle वाले में कोई फर्क नहीं है. They're just repeating. Let's take another one. This compound, इसका नाम क्या होगा? बताएं. People, you need to know this. Very good. Chloroethene, yes. अच्छा, अगर मैं आपसे पूछूं कि ईथीन से क्लोरोईथीन कैसे बनता होगा, तो क्या रिएक्शन होगा जिससे क्लोरोईथीन बनता होगा?
Substitution.
वेरी गुड, सब्स्टिट्यूशन. और उसके लिए क्या रिक्वायरमेंट है? क्लोरीन तो होगा, लेकिन रिक्वायरमेंट क्या होनी चाहिए, कंडीशंस क्या होनी चाहिए?
Sir, UV light.
वेरी गुड, शाबाश. यूवी लाइट होगी तो सब्स्टिट्यूशन होगी, अगर यूवी लाइट नहीं होगी तो एडिशन रिएक्शन होगा. Anyway, so we have this thing, it is chloroethene, it is also called vinyl chloride. Now I can take this thing and I can add multiples of it. So सबसे पहले क्या करना है, you simply draw it without the double bond, and now this is my repeating unit and I will make multiples of it. इसके दोनों साइड्स पे बना लेते हैं, कॉपी करना है उसको बस, and I will join them. So I'll join this to this, and this goes forever and ever, long chains, and this thing will be called poly because it's a polymer, vinyl chloride because ये vinyl chloride से बना है, जिसको आम जुबान में हम PVC भी कहते हैं. This is used to make pipes, okay, gas pipes, water pipes. PVC is used to make that. Okay, so this is a fact that you need to know. Similarly, we have another important monomer जिसको हम, इसका नाम क्या होगा? बताइए, what do you think it is?
Tetrafluoroethene.
शाबाश, tetrafluoroethene, yes. Now this thing, tetrafluoroethene, so I'll just call it TFE. You take this and obviously you draw it without the double bond in it, and that is your repeating unit. Once you draw it without the double bond, that's your repeat unit. You copy it, इस साइड पर भी बना लें एक, मिनिमम 2 बनाने होते हैं. सो अगर आप एक भी एक्स्ट्रा बना दो, दैट्स परफेक्टली फाइन, और ऐसे लाइन शो करवा दो. ओके, एंड दिस थिंग विल बी कॉल्ड पॉली टेट्राफ्लोरोईथीन, या जिसको हम टेफ्लॉन भी कहते हैं. Teflon is a black solid that is used to coat different kitchen utensils, cooking utensils, and this is used to make non-stick pans. Non-stick pans black होते हैं usually, उनमें जो black coating होती है वो इस चीज की होती है. It's a very hard substance and it doesn't stick with water because water के साथ और इसमें intermolecular forces generate नहीं हो पाती. ठीक है, water के intermolecular forces और इसकी आपस में नहीं मिल पाती. Okay, so this whole process is called addition polymerization. One important fact to remember in these is that we made 4 examples here, लेकिन इनमें से किसी में भी by product नहीं था. They all created one compound that they were supposed to make, and that's it. They did not make another one. Okay, so addition polymerization, number one, it is very hard to reverse. इसको अगर आप रिवर्स करना चाहेंगे तो आपको ये बॉन्ड्स तोड़ना पड़ेंगे, जो कि मुश्किल होता है. तो यूजुअली लोग इनको बर्न कर लेते हैं. बर्निंग देम प्रोड्यूसेस टॉक्सिक फ्यूम्स व्हिच आर डेंजरस टू द एनवायरनमेंट. सो वी शुडंट बर्न प्लास्टिक्स. ये सब चीजों को हम प्लास्टिक कहते हैं. दे आर हार्ड टू रिवर्स एंड दे आर डिफिकल्ट टू गेट रिड ऑफ. मतलब शॉपिंग बैग्स हैं, दे आर अ बिग पोल्यूटेंट. Plastic bottles हैं, they are a big pollutant. Coca-Cola is one of the Coca-Cola and Nestle both are the highest polluting companies in the world because वो bottles produce करते हैं, और उन bottles में उनका product खत्म हुआ, वो bottle की value खत्म. ठीक है, so these are very difficult to reverse, which is why when you have these bottles or plastic bags that you have to get rid of, तो आपको उसके लिए landfill sites बनानी पड़ेंगी, जिसपे environmentally damaging होता है. वो burning them is not the right solution, it damages the environment. So they have these issues with them, which is why in many places shopping bags made of plastic are banned. And I agree with them. Okay, so this was addition. Now, remember we talked about addition of water. So if you add water to something like an alkene, you will be able to create alcohols. Alcohols क्या करते हैं? Alcohols में एक खास चीज है जिसको हम कहते हैं OH group. These OH group, what they allow alcohol to do is oxidation. ये अल्कोहल है, मैंने आपको बताया था कि ऑक्सीडेशन दो तरह की है. वन इज कंबशन, कि जिसमें बर्न हो जाता है. एवरी ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड कैन बी बर्न्ड, ठीक है. बट देयर इज अनदर काइंड ऑफ ऑक्सीडेशन where this O that is already there allows this carbon to get another oxygen. तो एक ऑक्सीजन है, एक और ऑक्सीजन को लाने में ये हेल्प करता है. So this reacts with oxygen, or it can react with oxidizing agent. And what it does is that these two hydrogens with this carbon, remember it's the carbon that is attached to oxygen, कोई और कार्बन नहीं ये कर सकता, ये ऑक्सीजन उसको हेल्प आउट कर रहा है इसको करने के लिए. That is why this carbon. So it will lose both the hydrogen, so we'll draw it without the hydrogen, obviously. And now another oxygen to going to come in to replace those hydrogens. So एक ऑक्सीजन दोनों की जगह पे आ जाएगा. And this is oxidation, and this is possible in alcohols or anything that has OH in them. Any hydroxy compound, obviously that's an alcohol. वो ये कर सकता है. And those other hydrogens are going to go away as water. They will not go away as hydrogen gas. Okay, so you take an ethanol, you bubble oxygen gas in it, through it. ethanol का solution है, आप उसमें से oxygen gas bubble करेंगे, वो ये रिएक्शन कर सकता है. आप उसको किसी ऑक्सीडाइजिंग एजेंट से रिएक्ट करवा दें, लाइक पोटेशियम मैंगनेट, वो ये रिएक्शन कर सकता है. आप पोटेशियम डाइक्रोमेट कर लें तो ये रिएक्शन हो सकता है. अब जब हम इस रिएक्शन को लैब में करने लगते हैं ना, तो देयर इज अ कॉम्प्लिकेशन देयर. एथेनॉल इज अ वॉलेटाइल लिक्विड. व्हाट डू यू नो अबाउट वॉलेटाइल लिक्विड्स? क्या होते हैं वॉलेटाइल? आई एम सॉरी?
It evaporates.
Yeah, it evaporates much easier, much faster than other things. So this alcohol and most alcohols, lightweight अभी जो होंगे, they will evaporate easily. Volatile का यहाँ पर ये मतलब है. It does not mean that they react faster. It does not mean that they are a gas at room temperature. All it means is that they will evaporate fast. Okay, they will gather energy and be able to evaporate at a faster rate. That's what volatile liquids are. Okay, so alcohol is a volatile liquid. तो अगर मैं इसका रिएक्शन करवाता हूँ, let's suppose I take a flask और उसमें मैं अल्कोहल फिल कर देता हूँ, और यहाँ पे मैं इसमें ऑक्सीजन डाल देता हूँ, या इसमें मैं KMnO4 डाल देता हूँ. What's going to happen is that it is probably going to evaporate before it reacts, right? So we do not want that. We do not want कि वो evaporate कर जाए रिएक्शन किए बगैर. तो for that we use a टेक्निक जिसको हम लैब में यूज करते हैं, कि हम एक कंडेंसर लेते हैं, ओके, और उस कंडेंसर में इस फ्लास्क के अंदर जिसमें हम KMnO4 डाला हुआ है या जिसमें अल्कोहल है, कंडेंसर है, and I'm going to fix this on the flask. Now what's going to happen is that I'm going to put cold water in, and obviously it will become warm here. Okay, so it will going to come outside. अब इससे होगा क्या? I took that condenser, we have used this condenser in distillation, now we are doing it in a different way. Let's suppose मैं इसको heat कर देता हूँ. Obviously I shouldn't heat it directly, it's alcohol, it can burn, तो मुझे water bath use करना चाहिए, या मुझे indirect source of heating, electric heater भी use कर सकते हैं, ठीक है. So let's suppose I have alcohol in here. अब अगर वो evaporate करेगा तो ये condenser उसे cool करके वापस भेजेगा, और यहाँ पर मैंने KMnO4 डाला हुआ है, यहाँ पे ऑक्सीजन गैस आ रही है किसी ट्यूब की तरफ से. तो नाउ दिस अल्कोहल विल नॉट बी एबल टू एस्केप. दिस प्रोसेस, इसको हम कहते हैं रिफ्लक्स कंडेंसर. रिफ्लक्स कंडेंसर. It sends anything that evaporates back into the reactant, जो भी वेसल है जहां पे रिएक्शन हो रहा है, ठीक है. So now alcohol will not be able to evaporate, And because it does not evaporate, ये यहाँ पर सारे का सारा फिर ultimately react कर जाएगा and it will convert into an acid. So for oxidation of alcohols which are volatile, we use reflux condensers. Okay, they make sure that the reaction is completed and alcohol does not escape. Okay, so this is an experimental technique that we use for oxidation. Now that we know what oxidation is and all for alcohol, there's only two reactions left that we need to know about in organic chemistry. हमें वो reactions तो पता है, हम बस उनको देखना चाह रहे हैं वो कैसे होंगे. So let me see these acids. These are acids, right? Acid क्या होता है? बताएं.
It is anything that reacts with water and gives an H positive ion.
Very good. So this is going to give H positive ion, and the reason it's able to lose H positive and not just H, remember this, it has to be H positive, वो ये है. This O allows it to become H. So this O has two roles to play. First, in the alcohol, it allowed it to oxidize. And in the acid, even in some alcohols, it's allowing this H to go away as H positive. So यहाँ पर we will break the bond and this H positive and whatever is left, आपको उसकी फिक्र नहीं करनी कि वो क्या चीज है, वो कुछ भी हो सकता है. For example, this one, okay, वो जो भी है it's going to go away as this thing और इस पे एक negative charge आ जाएगा. Okay, hold on, I'm getting a call. वापस आ जाए. Okay, so wherever that OH is, that O is allowing it to lose that H as a H positive. वो कार्बन नहीं कर सकता, ठीक है. कार्बन और हाइड्रोजन वाली बॉन्ड जो है वो टूट के हाइड्रोजन आयन नहीं बन सकता. हाँ, हाइड्रोजन जा सकती है जैसे हमने सब्स्टिट्यूशन रिएक्शन में देखा था, लेकिन फॉर OH to play that role, it's important that OH plays that role and gives H positive for anything to act as an acid. Okay, so that's an important thing, which is why when this thing will react, so let's suppose मैं आपको एक random सा acid दे देता हूँ. Let's suppose we have this acid. It's a different acid, जो भी है ये चीज, ठीक है. Let's suppose इसको थोड़ा सा और complicate कर देते हैं. Let's suppose we have this. Now it does not matter कि वो क्या है. All that matters is this H positive is going to go. No other H can go away as H positive. Okay. And let's suppose we reacted with sodium. Remember that sodium is more reactive than hydrogen. So this sodium is going to come and it's going to replace that H positive. Okay. So hydrogen gas is released just like in acids. जो acid base reactions हमने पढ़े थे, यहाँ पर भी ये H positive, it will go and it will be replaced by sodium because sodium is more reactive. So it's going to go as hydrogen gas and sodium will come in place of it, but it will be an ionic bond. So sodium will come as sodium positive and that whole other thing, whatever it is, you'll just write it जैसे भी वो है, you'll just write it as it is and put a negative charge there. Do not join sodium with a covalent bond क्योंकि sodium covalent bond यहाँ पे नहीं बना रहा है. Now, based on these charges and everything, can we say that this is a redox reaction? Yes, it is. Very good, Alina. Yeah, so this sodium is being oxidized because it loses electrons and hydrogen ion is being reduced because it accepted electron and it became hydrogen gas. Another way to see that is that sodium went from 0 to positive 1 and H went from positive 1 to 0. That's again change in oxidation state, which tells us that this is redox reaction. Now, how are these acids different from other acids that we studied back then? They are weak acids. Weak means that they do not ionize completely. Okay. So that means they are going to lose H positive, but not all at once. So if you have, let's say, 1,000 molecules, maybe a fraction of that, maybe 10 or 12 of those are going to lose H positive. And then the others will follow later on at a slow pace. Compare that to HCl or H2SO4 or some other acid, industrial acid, then what they're going to do is, which are strong acids basically, they are going to ionize completely. All the 1,000 molecules, if you have them, will lose H positive at once. So that's how they're different. The reaction will be slow for organic acids and fast for other acids because वो ionization के ऊपर depend करता है. ठीक है? So that's an important factor. Obviously, these will react with alkenes, these will react with carbonates to give carbon dioxide, these will react with ammonia to produce amines. ठीक है? तो sorry, ammonium salts. All of that is done just like in other acids, except they do it slowly, they do it partially, and they do it in a reversible fashion. Okay, so that's how these acids are different. Now, there is one more reaction that these acids can do with alcohols, or wo hai condensation reaction. Remember condensation reaction? It was when you removed a simple thing and you joined whatever was left together. उसमें कभी double bond भी बन सकती थी, और अगर double bond नहीं बन सकती तो दो different molecules अगर हैं तो they will join with a single covalent bond. That's exactly what's going to happen now. So this is condensation reaction. So I would like to just revise this again. So in condensation reaction, let's suppose I have ROH to represent alcohol and I have RCOOH to represent acid. मैं इसको R prime कह देता हूँ just to say कि ये different है. R क्या होता है? R is any hydrocarbon, any group of carbon that is attached to this. So it's an alkyl. Now what will happen? I want to remove water since this is condensation. So let's suppose I remove OH from here and H from here. Okay. What will happen is that water will be produced, but whatever is left, it's going to join together. तो यहां से ये पूरी चीज बची है, ये ऐसे बन गई, और यहां से ये बचा है, ये ऐसे बन गया. And that's how you join them, and that is usually tested in the exam. These things, because they have COO in them, what family do they belong to? Esters. ठीक है, तो ये एस्टर बनाता है, ये पूरा कंपाउंड एस्टर है जिसमें ये COO link makes them ester. So let me take an example. Let's suppose I have this compound. What is its name? फौरन आने चाहिए आपको नाम. What is its name? Methanol. Yes. And let's suppose I have this thing. What is this?
Ethanol.
No. This is not propanol. This is not even an alcohol because देखें इसमें COOH है. This is an acid. OH makes alcohols, COOH makes acids. So this is an acid. What acid? Propanoic acid. Yes, Alina, you're right. Okay, so what's going to happen? We are going to do condensation reaction, which means water is going to be removed. So यहाँ से let's suppose OH remove कर देते हैं और यहाँ से H remove कर देते हैं. Okay. Now what do we have left? We have this whole thing. So I'll draw it again. Okay, so I have this whole thing left from here, and on the other side I have one carbon with 3 hydrogens. Okay, let's see. अब आप देखिए, this part makes it an ester and this is that is connected to it. So जो alcohol से चीज आएगी, that is an alkyl, sorry, that's an alkyl. Okay, so this thing, this one, ये alcohol से आया है, इसका नाम है methyl. It's an alkyl because all alcohols are nothing but alkyl joined to OH. Okay, so this is a methyl, and what's it doing here? It is going to produce propanoate. That is the family name of esters. They have O8 at the end. So this is propanoate joined with methyl. So we'll call it methyl propanoate. Okay. So remember one thing, the alkyl comes from the alcohol. So if I want to have, let's say, ethyl propanoate, तो मुझे ethanol के साथ reaction करवाना है. मुझे propyl ethanoate बनाना है, तो मुझे देखना है कि मुझे कौन सा alcohol चाहिए. मुझे propyl वाला alcohol चाहिए, which means propanol चाहिए मुझे. So the alkyl part, which is attached to oxygen, ये गौर कीजिए, this is attached to oxygen, not to carbon. Okay, this is the alkyl part. And everything else on the other side of oxygen, जो COO वाली side है, that is what makes it an ester. Okay, so that comes from the acid. And these esters are very useful compounds. They smell sweet. They're used in perfumes. They're used in fruit flavoring. Okay, these are two uses that you need to know. So wherever there are synthetic smells, most likely वहाँ पे ester है. For example, Tang has esters in it. Soaps have esters in it. Shampoos have esters in them. Dishwashing जो भी चीजें होती हैं उनमें esters होते हैं. ठीक है? Anything that is made chemically and it smells nice, it will always have some ester in it, most likely. Okay? So that's what esters are. And that is what organic chemistry is in O levels. You have simply these 5 reactions. You have condensation, addition, addition, condensation, cracking, oxidation. ये reactions हैं जिनसे ये चीज़ बन रही है. तो आपको वो reaction समझ आने चाहिए, आपको सब समझ आ जाएगा. We'll study fermentation and condensation to make polymers. So condensation को और addition दोनों को समझना बहुत ज़रूरी है. क्योंकि देखें आपके रिएक्शंस जितने भी हो रहे हैं, आपने देखे कंडेंसेशन वाले रिएक्शन से भी बहुत कुछ प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है, एस्टर्स प्रोड्यूस हो रहे हैं, एल्कीन्स प्रोड्यूस हो रहे हैं. फिर आपने देखा है कि इससे अब पॉलीमर्स भी प्रोड्यूस होंगे. सिमिलरली एडिशन रिएक्शन से पॉलीमर्स भी प्रोड्यूस हो रहे हैं, एल्केन्स भी प्रोड्यूस हो रहे हैं, एल्कोहल्स भी प्रोड्यूस हो रहे हैं. तो ये दोनों रिएक्शंस बड़े ज़रूरी हैं. ओके, सो वी विल टॉक अबाउट बायोकेमिस्ट्री टुमारो, एंड दैट विल बी द एंड ऑफ O level syllabus. After that, we will just move on to tests. We will have one whole week of tests.